This is going to be by far one of the most powerful personal development videos that you've ever listened to in your entire life. Because what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be distilling down the core principles for how to self-actualize, which means how to create a custom tailored vision for your own life that's based on your unique passions, strengths, and values, and then how to stay aligned to that vision over a 5 to 10 year period where you actually take daily action steps that move you closer to that vision on a daily basis. This video here is the culmination of what I've spent the last 8 years of my life studying full time. For the last 8 years, I've been obsessed with studying self-actualization, success, personal development, spirituality, law of attraction and manifestation, and just all kinds of stuff for how to live the best life possible. And I've used all of these things that I'm going to be sharing with you today to design my life in the exact way that I want it to be, where I just make video content full time and I coach people full time on a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about here in this video. I make a full-time living off of this stuff, and that was by design. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to design your life proactively so that you can be the main character in your life. What does it mean to be the main character of your life, and why would you even want to be the main character of your life? So this is a video game analogy where if you've ever played a video game before, there's the main character, which is what you play as, and then there's all of these side characters as well that are called the NPCs. The side characters are running on a script that was pre-programmed by the game's creators. So if you've ever played a video game like Pokemon, for example, there's all these side characters that are just kind of walking around doing their pre-programmed things. Some of them walk out of their houses, they talk to you and they say the exact same dialogue lines every single time. They do the same things every single day, and they just live on autopilot. They're literally pre-programmed. Whereas you're the main character in the game. You get to consciously choose where you want to go in the game. You get to choose what kind of experience you want to get from the game. Now, a rude awakening for many people is to realize that they've been living their lives on autopilot. You might think that you're the main character of your life, but I'm very sorry to tell you that the odds are just based on the odds. Because when I walk around, I see that most people are living on autopilot. And when you first begin your personal development journey, you always start off as an NPC. So if you haven't been doing very serious proactive self-actualization like we're going to be talking about in this video, then the odds are what you have by default is the reactive life. The reason why I know you're probably an NPC, I'm not trying to offend you or be rude about it, you're just being real here in this video, is because culture programs you with a certain set of beliefs and a certain attitude. It's really a temperamental thing. Just the school system, just the way it's structured, where you have to follow instructions without questioning. You don't get to assign yourself homework. The teacher assigns homework for you. And then you go to university and it's the same thing. And then you go into the workforce and your boss just delegates tasks to you. This is the definition of being a side character in somebody else's dream, somebody else's vision. You're creating someone else's vision by just following instructions. You're not proactively creating your own powerful, inspiring, motivating vision for your own life. You're kind of allowing life and you're allowing other people to sort of tell you what to do. And even if you're not doing this, even if you're trying your very best to self-actualize and to create the life that you have in your vision, even then you're still an NPC. Because the rude awakening that I had when I first learned meditation 8 years ago when I was 16, the biggest thing I realized was that I'm not in control of my own thoughts. My thoughts just appear out of nowhere, and then my attention automatically gets sucked into these thoughts, and all of a sudden I'm like a character that's running on a script. I'm thinking things that I didn't even consciously choose to think. Anyone who sat down to meditate for longer than 20 minutes knows that your thoughts are ruthless. They will use any trick in the book to distract you and to hijack your attention. And once a thought has hijacked your attention, you no longer have the conscious ability to choose where to put your attention. So to become the main character of your life, one of the main principles is being in control of your own attention. Consciously choosing to focus your attention on something that you actually want to create in your life on a moment-to-moment basis. This isn't something you just do one time. This is a living visualization where you're constantly visualizing exactly what the thing you want to create in your life is, and every decision you make in your life is based on, is this going to get me closer to my vision, or is this going to just be a distraction, a side quest that's unnecessary? So people like Elon Musk, for example, the way he makes decisions now in 2023 is literally, will this decision help me get closer to my ultimate vision, which is getting the human race on Mars? So building some kind of colony or research center and populating the planet Mars. That's Elon Musk's inspiring vision for his life. That's what he's decided to do with his lifetime. And what we're going to be helping you do in this video is helping you to create your own inspiring vision that is unique to your soul, that really resonates with your deepest passions. So, yes, you are an NPC just because you can't control your own attention. Most of the time, you're lost in the dream of life. You're fighting against external circumstances, and you're lost in daydream land in your own mind, but you're not proactively choosing what to focus on. So that's what we're going to be helping you do now, where we're going to be showing you step by step how to create a powerful vision for your life that keeps you motivated and inspired on a daily basis. So if you're someone who feels a bit lost and confused in your life, if you feel like motivation is something that comes and goes, like sometimes I feel super motivated and inspired to take action, but then other times it just completely disappears and I feel apathetic, I feel lazy, and I just want to eat junk food and play video games all day. So if you're someone whose motivation waxes and wanes, like the phases of the moon, then what you're missing in your life is that constant vision. You don't want to be like the moon. If we're talking about vision, we're talking about your masculine core creating a direction in your life. Even if you're a woman listening to this, you still have masculine energy within you, and when we're developing our masculine energy, what we're developing is our vision, our direction, our ambition, and our willingness to create a meaningful life for ourselves in the future. Whereas the feminine principle is more about creating an amazing life now in the present, enjoying the beauty and abundance and the full glory of the present moment. The masculine energy is more about direction, vision, and purpose. So just as a side note, getting really clear about your vision in your life, becoming the main character of your life as opposed to a side character in someone else's life, this makes you extremely, extremely attractive if you're a man. So if you're a man, this is really the essence of your masculine core, and if you learn how to do this properly, you're going to feel motivated, you're going to feel confident, you're going to feel inspired, and you're going to feel like your true, best, most confident self. This is super attractive for women, and it just makes you feel awesome about your life. So again, just getting really clear here, being very clear, having a vision is the most powerful principle in all of personal development. This is the difference between being proactive and being reactive. This is such a deep point. The reason why I'm repeating myself is because it's so deep. Literally on a moment-to-moment basis, ask yourself, am I reacting to the vague feeling of boredom, insecurity, fear of not having enough money, fear of other people not liking me? Am I reacting to what my parents are going to think of me, what my friends are going to think of me? Or am I proactively choosing what life I want to live, regardless of all these other things like what other people are going to think of me? Am I spending the time and putting in the actual focus to focus my attention on what does my heart and soul genuinely want? And then living towards that proactively. This is the difference between an NPC and a main character. This is the difference between living a mediocre life and living a self-actualized life where you actually experience and embody your fullest potential as a human being. It's so amazing that you're a human being. You have infinite potential. So this video is going to be helping you with reaching that. All right, so how do you create an inspiring personal vision for yourself? This is something I've had to work a lot on for myself. I've spent 5 years just working on this, honing it over and over again, getting really crystal clear about my own vision for my life. And this is something I also help my coaching clients with as well. I have a system that I take them through where there's a system of questions that I'm going to be sharing with you now, and it's extremely powerful. This is really the main thrust of my coaching, and this is really what helps people get results in their life. Step one is you're going to need some alone time. So what this looks like for me personally, what I like to do is I like to take a journal and a pen, and I like to go out into nature or just go out to a park near my house where there's not too many people around. I get to be alone. And you want to carve out at least 1 to 2 hours of alone time where no one's going to bother you. There's no distractions. Your phone's on airplane mode. It's just you by yourself, focusing on your own self. Step two, what you're going to do is you're going to allow yourself to dream, and you want to ask yourself the questions, what does my ideal life look like? If I could create any life that I want for myself. In this step, we're not going to worry about practical details yet. First, we're concerned with target selection. So first we have to select a target. What's my ideal life scenario? What life would make me feel the most happy, the most fulfilled? Like when I finally am reaching the end of my life and I'm about to die, I could look back on my life and think to myself, you know what? That was a really well-lived life. What kind of life would make you feel like you got the full juice out of your life experience? Like you came to Earth for something and you actually got the full experience that you wanted. So what you're going to do is you're going to spend maybe 10 to 15 minutes before you start writing, just visualizing it and just really massaging it in your mind. So practically you might say, well, Adam, I don't really know the answers to all those questions. Yeah, now we're going to figure it out. So let's say if you went to a high school and you talked to a lot of the kids that were in grade 12 and they're moving into university, you'd ask them, well, what do you want to create in your life? A friend of mine is a teacher and he actually does this. He teaches grade 12s personal life management, which is really cool. He asks them, he says, hey guys, what do you want to create in your life? And a lot of them answer, well, I don't know. Okay, that's okay to not know. Be honest. Okay, I don't know. That's fine. So this exercise is when we actually figure it out. And there's going to be a little bit of emotional labor involved. There's going to be a lot of confusion involved. This is completely normal. You're not going to quite know exactly what kind of life you want to create. So that's why you're all by yourself. There's no one around. There's no distractions. You're sitting here and you're actually kind of forcing your mind to think about, okay, so what do I want? What would make me the most happy? So I'm going to give you a list of questions that are going to help you with this dreaming exercise. We're going to really hammer it in. So questions like, what part of life makes me the most excited? What topic can I never shut up about? It's just so fascinating to me. I just keep researching it on my own. What part of life makes me so emotional to the point where it makes me want to cry? How do I want to impact other people's lives? If I could take another person's life and just give all of my heart and soul to them, what would that look like? How would I want somebody else's life to change after coming into contact with me or my art or some kind of business or project that I create? Another question, what's a dream project that I've always dreamed about creating, but I held myself back because I thought it wasn't practical or realistic? What was a time where I felt creatively inspired in my life? Think back to a time where you felt creatively inspired to make something. I remember when I was maybe 10 years old, a friend and I, we had this idea to create a video game. And I remember for an entire week, I was planning out all the characters, I was researching, I was learning how to use the game development engine, and I was just super excited to create this video game. So you want to really ask yourself, what was a time in my past where I felt creatively inspired? These questions, what we're doing, what we're getting to is we're going into the core of your soul. If you can imagine your heart, this is a funny analogy, but your heart's kind of like an onion. It has layers, okay? Like ogres have layers. Your heart, your life purpose, your soul's mission has layers. We want to peel back the layers and we really want to dig into the core of what's the most core, fundamental emotional driver that I have in my life. What makes me feel inspired? What lights me up? What makes me feel like a little kid? What does my soul want me to do? What's my core, most deepest purpose for coming to Earth? If I was a billionaire, how would I live my life? What would I do all day? How would I feel? Now, this question is very powerful, and you want to be honest. Don't be shallow and materialistic, like say, oh, I'll buy 10 yachts. Because really, like, what are you going to do with 10 yachts? That's not like a practical thing. Or I'll just eat caviar every single day. Okay, sure, but you'll probably get sick of it after a while. Or, oh, I'll just have sex with hundreds of beautiful men or women. Okay, sure, there's nothing wrong with that, but eventually you're going to get sick of that. There's only so much sex you can have. There's only so much time in the day. So after you're done having your sex and eating your caviar and sailing on all 10 of your yachts, you still have $999 million left. What are you going to do now with your time? What do you do all day? Be honest. It's okay. Don't worry about practicality, thinking like, oh, how am I going to make money from this thing? So let's say your answer is, oh, I just want to like travel the world and go explore nature and go study birds in Colombia, all over the world. Okay, sure. You don't have to worry about how's that going to make me money because you have $999 million in the bank. That's the point of the visualization. So we're completely removing this question of, oh, is it practical? And we're just going for what does my heart want to experience here on earth? All right, so visualize that, get the details. Think about details like, what does my house look like? Specifically, where is it located? What style is it? What does the interior look like? What does my significant other look like? Do you want to have a relationship? Do you want to have multiple relationships? What does your significant other look like? What are their hobbies? What's their personality like? Do you have a dog? Do you have kids? And then you want to ask yourself, what do I do all day? How do I give back to the world? What change do I want to make in the world? Do I want to reform the education system? Do I want to help save the whales? Do I want to help reduce ocean pollution? Do I want to run for president? Do I want to help to reform the information economy? Do I want to be involved in the lawmaking process? Do I want to be a writer? Do I want to be a singer? Do I want to make art? So all of these questions, these questions, you can replay this part of the video and really ask yourself these questions seriously. Go over them over and over again. And so you're sitting there in the park and really get the gist of this, your ideal life scenario, and then you want to spend an hour just writing. Just write. Ask yourself questions like, how amazing is my life going to be? What am I going to do all day? How excited am I? And write down the details of your ideal life scenario. Okay? You don't really have to be realistic in the sense that you don't have to limit yourself by practicality, but I want you to be honest and I want you to do your best to discern what is a superficial desire that I have. Like maybe like, oh, I'll just buy expensive clothes and just like wear designer brands all day. If that is authentic to your soul and you genuinely love dressing yourself up in designer brands and expensive clothes, then sure, go ahead. I like expensive clothes too. There's nothing wrong with that. But the point I'm making here is to discern what's a superficial desire that I have that my culture just kind of implanted into me versus what does my heart actually want? If I wasn't thinking about societal standards and norms, but just like being genuinely authentic to myself, what would I want? What would my life look like? Who would I hang out with? What would my friends be? Where would we hang out? What would we do? All right. So that's dream creation. But we're not done yet. That was just the main part of creating a vision. So after you've created this vision, you're going to feel extremely inspired, extremely excited. You're going to feel something. That's the key. We're going excitement chasing in our own heart. So whenever something clicks in you and makes you feel excited and inspired to almost to the point where you want to cry, that's like a nugget of gold. When something in your life makes you feel inspired and passionate, you want to pay attention to that. That's gold. That's your fuel source. Passion and excitement fuels you to be the best version of yourself. That's your energy source. Do you ever feel like you just have no energy? You feel lethargic and like nothing motivates you. That's because your attention is not focused towards an inspiring vision that excites you. Because when you're directed towards an inspiring vision, the vision itself motivates you. It actually gives you energy. Like, for example, right now, obviously, I'm extremely excited to make this video. The video's making itself. I don't have to like fake my excitement while I'm making the video. I'm so excited to make the video. My heart is overflowing because this stuff is what I am the most passionate about. And I'm sharing with you now the process of how I discovered this for myself. It wasn't an accident. It was deliberate. We're talking about lifestyle design. All right, so after you've done this visualization exercise, congratulations, good job. You probably feel very excited and inspired. Next, what I recommend, this is like a side tip. This is like tip 2.5. So step 2.5, I recommend spending at least a month really studying your own personality type, your top strengths, so I'm going to give you some resources now. So what I highly recommend you do is you study your Myers-Briggs personality type. Figure out what's your type. Are you an ENTP? I'm an ENTP. Are you an INFJ? Are you an ESTP? Are you an INFP? So figure out what's your type and study your cognitive functions. You actually spend a couple weeks learning about how your own brain works. Myers-Briggs is extremely powerful. I have tried multiple times to deconstruct it and tell myself like, oh, this is just, something that's completely made up, but it's not. It's very powerful. It's very accurate. It's very practically useful and applicable. I use it in my coaching to coach my clients all the time. It's a key thing that you want to know about yourself. What's your personality type in Myers-Briggs? You could check out your Enneagram. I don't really use Enneagram that much, but I have a friend who's an expert on these things that he really likes Enneagram. So check out your Enneagram. In my opinion, the more the better. I have a whole video that recommends 9 personality type systems for knowing more about who you are as a person. You can check that out. Off the top of my head, I'm going to recommend look at your astrology chart and make sure you read the description that you get from Cafe Astrology. Astrology is legit and it's extremely, extremely, extremely powerful. You want to look at your gene keys as well. Take the gene keys test. You want to look at your human design as well. Check that out. You want to look at your VIA strengths assessment, your top 5 strengths. Check that out. And that'll give you a pretty good gist of what your personality type is. You want to really just spend a month just contemplating, how does my mind work? Who am I as a person? What are my top intelligences as well? You can take the top intelligences test on personalitymax.com. Take that test. That'll help you a lot. So you just really want to spend a month just kind of putting the pieces together. You don't want to just study one system. You can go very deep in one system, but what I like to do is to study a wide variety of systems, and then we can find some of the overlapping patterns and really chew on it, contemplate it. You should be obsessed with this. Think about it all day. What's my type? What does that mean for my soul's purpose? What's my vision? How can I use this information and how can I add that into my vision? So a practical example might be, okay, you discover that you're an INFP from Myers-Briggs. Awesome. Did you know most INFPs that I know in my life, like my sister and like some of my other friends are INFPs, they're almost always amazing writers, storytellers, they're great speakers as well, and artists. So that is great for you to know, like, okay, I should probably move in the direction of being an artist. You discover you're an INFP, maybe it's not a good idea to go into engineering. Like a friend of mine who actually is an INFP, and he actually got his engineering degree. He did 5 years in physics to get his engineering degree, and he went to actually go get a job, and he realized, oh shit, I don't like this. So this is where the rubber meets the road. When you know what your personality type is and you contemplate it deeply, you know that your cognitive functions, like INFP for example, the first function is introverted feeling, the second function is extroverted intuition, and I'm not sure what the third and fourth one are, but you want to know what that even means. Study that. That's going to help you a lot with knowing how your own mind works. If my friend knew that before he did 5 years of physics, he could have done 5 years of writing, because that's what he's doing now. He's going into writing. I had a mini coaching session with him, and now he's extremely inspired to go into writing, and that's what he's putting all his eggs in that, because randomly throughout the day, he just gets good ideas for stories and characters. They just come to him. He has poems just pop up in his head. So wouldn't it be intelligent to align your life to the thing that you're already good at? In fact, if you want to live your best life and you want to self-actualize your natural gifts and talents, that's what self-actualization means, then a big part of that is just knowing what your natural gifts and talents are. So, step 3, so after you've visualized your ideal life scenario, step 3 is you really want to get the feeling of it as if it's already true. So, imagine that your ideal life scenario, this grand, profound vision for how you're going to impact the world and transform humanity, how you're going to live the best life possible, how you're going to add value to other people's lives. You have this vision, great. That's almost like a movie on a screen. So you look at the movie first, then in step 3, you put yourself into the movie, where you actually can close your eyes and visualize in your mind's eye, how would it feel if I already had this thing that I want? Feel the details of it. Let's say you want to have a nice house with a pool. Actually go swimming in the pool in your imagination and feel free. Feel like you have all the money that you want. It's all coming to you. Feel like you're already creatively inspired and your work is in alignment with your heart and your passion. Feel how good that feels to already be in alignment and already have all of the things and people in your life that you want to have authentically. Feel it as if it's real. Now, what this does is this gets you inspired, and this actually helps you to align your energetic frequency to the frequency of the version of you who already has the thing that you want. This is key. You want to be the version of yourself who already has the thing that you want. I have other videos about that. I forget what they're called right now, but check those out. Step 4, you want to remind yourself frequently of this feeling. So throughout the day, first thing when you wake up in the morning, but instead of checking your phone, see, that would put you into a reactive state. So you don't want to check your phone first thing in the morning, because that immediately makes you an NPC. Immediately you're in a reactive state. Instead, you want to start your day from a proactive state. Focus on your vision first thing in the morning. You can journal about it. Use a scripting technique, which means write about your vision first thing in the morning as if it's already real, and enjoy it. Write a journal entry from the ideal version of you 20 years in the future who already succeeded with your vision. And write a journal entry now, today, from that ideal version of you's headspace. First thing in the morning. And then throughout the day, when you're doing your daily tasks, maybe you're still going to your old 9-to-5 job, that's fine. we can't make this shift all in one day. It's just going to be a gradual process. I'm going to teach you how to develop an exit strategy. But basically, you want to remind yourself frequently of this vision and this feeling. When you're walking your dog, when you want to just for 15 seconds, you want to insert a frame of you already being in your ideal reality. So if your ideal vision is like a movie, you want to take a frame out of that movie. This comes from reality transurfing, extremely powerful technique. Take one single frame out of that movie. Maybe it's, for me, my frame is me making a video and enjoying myself. That's my frame that makes me feel extremely happy. Making a video out in nature or making a video in my studio at home. That's my frame. So throughout the day, when I'm walking my dog or when I'm taking a shower or when I'm brushing my teeth, frequently I remind myself of this frame. Just for 15, 20 seconds, I'll just visualize what's that feeling of creating an amazing video and just being in the flow state and feeling like I'm sharing my passion and my gift with other people and helping them deeply in their life. So I insert that frame into my mind's eye multiple times per day, frequently. Maybe ideally you do it once every 10 minutes, but you want to do it as much as possible. And ideally, the ideal way to do this is to live as the future version of yourself that already has the thing that you want. Live as that ideal version of yourself today. Because I'll tell you a secret. This is a big secret. There is no such thing as the future or the past. There is only the present. So when you're in a state of waiting to finally have the thing that I want, you're not realizing that the only time and place to have the thing that you want is now. If you don't feel grateful, inspired, motivated, and appreciative and thankful for how amazing your life is now, then that's all that matters, is the now. So if you're not feeling it now, you're never going to feel it later. How can you feel good later if you're not focusing your attention on feeling good now? Later doesn't exist. I'm talking physically, I'm talking literally. This isn't like a philosophy, this is literal. There is no later. Because when you get to the later time, that's just another now moment. And you're still going to be ungrateful in that later time. Even if you get the thing that you want, even if you have your 10 yachts, you're still going to feel ungrateful and dissatisfied because you're training your mind to be ungrateful and dissatisfied when you're not realizing that you need to feel the way you want to feel now, not later, right now, because now is the only time that exists. This is key. Many people might say, well, Adam, if I feel satisfied with my life now, won't that make me lazy? I thought that in order for me to succeed in my life, I have to be hungry. I have to feel like my life is shit so that motivates me to create a better life. And yes, sometimes that can motivate you to take a lot of action, but what I found in my life when I tried that method is that it just ended up in me spinning my wheels a lot but not actually going anywhere. What I found, when I made the most progress in my life, like for example, when I signed my first coaching client ever when I was 19 or 20, I think I was 20 years old. And the first time I've ever sold a first coaching client for $2,000 and for helping him discover his life purpose and create a vision for his life and actually implement plans and habits to achieve it. The only way I was able to get that was to feel like I already had it. What I did was I did all the stuff that I'm telling you here in this video before I got my first coaching client at 20 years old. I was dealing with all kinds of limiting beliefs. Like, oh, but who's gonna listen to me? I'm only 20 years old. I can't coach someone else's life. Or, am I good enough? Am I qualified? All of these limiting beliefs. The only thing that helped was me being the best version of myself and being satisfied with my life today. And when I came from that feeling place and I put that feeling into the videos that I was making at the time, then this man that was like 37 years old, he reached out to me and actually paid me $2,000 for me to coach him for 12 weeks. And I ended up coaching him for like way longer than 12 weeks. And we completely transformed his life. We helped him get a new job. We helped him with his diet, with his vision, with his art, and all of this stuff. So I tell this story just to show you that you can create any result you want in your life if you feel like you have the thing that you want now. And you remind yourself frequently. Okay? Now, step 5, technically we're done. Technically, if you just feel like the way you have the thing that you want now and you feel that way all the time, we're done. You don't need anything else. But to create more of a sense of solidity and strategy and security, step 5, we're going to create a practical plan for actually achieving the goal in the future. So this isn't just some like ungrounded manifestation stuff where you just visualize it and then you have it. Also, to boost your confidence and your conviction, we can create a practical plan for achieving your vision. The way you do that is you put your attention out into the future, into that movie of your ideal life scenario, maybe 10, 20 years into the future. You watch that movie, and then you think to yourself, okay, so there is a version of Adam, or a version of me. You can insert your name. You don't have to use my name. You can use your name. There's a version of me that is living my ideal life scenario. And then you want to ask yourself, what kind of skills and knowledge does that future version of me have that the current version of me doesn't have? So, for example, for me, let's go 20 years into my future. I'm going to be doing live events, going to be doing like live seminars, meditation retreats, and going to be making videos, and there's a lot of stuff. I don't know if I want to share it. It's a little bit intense. I don't know if you guys will understand, but basically, I don't know if I can share. I don't know if you guys are going to understand, but I'm going to be a fully God-realized human being that just completely merges my consciousness into like the highest states of unitive development. All right? So that's my vision, and I can't really fully explain exactly how that works, but it's a feeling that I have in my heart. So then you want to ask yourself, okay, so the future version of Adam, or the future version of yourself, what kind of skills and knowledge and experience does that version have that the current version of you doesn't have? So for me, it might be lack of experience with meditation and spirituality. It might be lack of experience with psychedelics. It might be lack of experience with knowing how to do live events. The future version of me probably has much better speaking skills. The future version of me probably has much better leadership skills. The future version of me probably has much better writing skills, sales and marketing skills. He's probably an even better visionary. He's probably good at managing a team or a company. So you want to really get some practical skills. So let's say we have leadership skills, writing skills, speaking skills, live event skills, and marketing skills. We'll just break down those 5 skills. And we can even add meditation and psychedelics. 7 skills. So for each skill that the future version of you has that the current version of you doesn't have, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, okay, so what are 3 ways that I could build each skill? So let's start with writing skills. I need to be a good copywriter so I can market myself and so that I can share my ideas to help the world, so I can sell out my events, so that I could create content and so forth. So how do I improve my writing skills? Well, very practically, I could buy an online course about copywriting and I can take the entire course. I can practice my writing skills every single week by writing an email newsletter, which I do, and you can click the link in the description to subscribe to my email newsletter. I write amazing articles about self-actualization, so that's how I practice my writing skills. And then a third way is maybe I can join a writing club, or I can join some kind of copywriting group. It could be an online group, maybe a Facebook group, and I can interact in that group for 30 minutes per week. So very practically, with those three things, buying a course about it, practicing weekly, and then joining a community, that's, if I do that, I can actually put that into my schedule today to gradually bridge that gap between the current version of me and the future version of me. Okay, so let's do it again with speaking skills. So what I could do is I could join a speaking club like Toastmasters. I could practice my speaking by practicing while I'm walking. And when I'm out for a walk with my dog, I get a good idea. Practice explaining the idea to an imaginary person, which is technically what I'm doing right now. And then the third way I can practice my speaking is I could buy a book about speaking and I can read it. Okay, so let's do one more example, let's say with meditation. So the future version of me wants to be completely solidified and unified in God consciousness. Okay, great, whatever that means. Well, I know what it means, but you might not know what that means. So how would I bridge that gap? Well, I want to improve my meditation skills, so I could book a meditation retreat. I could hire a meditation coach. I could buy a meditation book. I could install a daily meditation practice. So what we're doing here is we're reverse engineering a vision into a practical plan with daily action steps that you can actually put into your calendar. So it's a very common sense thing that we're doing here. It's very practical, and what I recommend is you actually do this. Actually visualize the future version of yourself. Write down a list of all the skills the future version of yourself has that you don't have, and for each item on your list, write 3 things that you could do on a daily, weekly basis to improve that skill. Actually do this, please. This will help you a lot. So step 6 is taking a daily action. So ask yourself, what's the one thing that I could do every single day? That if I just committed to doing this one thing every single day, then that will bring me closer into more and more alignment with my ideal self, therefore in more alignment with my ideal reality. In the beginning, when I first started when I was 16, my daily action was reading and learning and listening to videos and audiobooks. That was a daily action that I had to take because I didn't know how I wanted to be a personal. I actually didn't even know I wanted to be a personal development teacher. I was just very passionate about personal development and self-actualization. So I just started researching it every single day. So pick a daily action. For me right now, it's just posting something on social media. I've been doing daily shorts, and I've also been doing written content as well, and I've also been doing full-length video content like this. Not daily with the full-length content, but I've been posting shorts and just good content on social media daily. So that's my daily action step. All right, step 7 is to follow your highest excitement and let your intuition guide you and lead you. I have a whole video about how to do that, so check that out. I can't go into it here. Step 8 is to react to the old reality as the new self. So when you're embodied as your new self and you're living from the feeling place of your new self, and then something triggers you, like maybe your mom starts yelling at you, or your bike gets stolen, then you need to be conscious and aware to react to this test. This is reality testing you to see if you're going to react as the old version of yourself or as the ideal version of yourself. If you're a billionaire, let's say, are you going to get your panties all up in a twist from your bike getting stolen? No, because you can buy another one. Or if your mom is yelling at you, are you going to get your panties all up in a twist? Probably not. You'll probably just give her a hug and apologize for whatever thing she's yelling at you about. So react to the old reality as the new self. I have a whole video about that as well. You can check that out. I'll link that in the top. And then step 9 is you want to prepare for success. So prepare for success means you want to clean and organize your living space and actually prepare for the new stuff to enter into your reality. So if you're wanting to manifest more clients in your business, then you would prepare your business to actually be able to handle more clients. Or if you want more followers on social media, then prepare your social media channel and prepare your website so that it actually looks professional, so that when those new followers do come, they have somewhere to go and something to do on your website. And also let go of things that are no longer serving you, things that are making you feel bad, like could be addiction to video games, or addiction to entertainment, or addiction to drugs, or addiction to hanging out with old friends that are just filling some kind of void that you have within yourself, but they're not actually helping to build you up in your life. So let go of those old things. They're not serving you. You don't need them anymore. And if you're struggling to let go of them, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. I have a whole video called How to Quit Any Addiction by Loving It to Death. So don't be overly hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Be nice to yourself. Be kind. Be forgiving. And take everything as a learning lesson. Everything that happens to you from this point on in your life, I want you to take it as a learning lesson. Every single event, even terrible events, can be twisted and can be turned into a positive thing. If you choose to focus your attention on the advantage in every single situation, then you'll get the advantage from every single situation. But if you focus on how terrible and negative this situation is, then it's going to be terrible and negative. And lastly, step 10, the basics. Just hold the vision on a daily basis as frequently as possible. Actually apply these steps and do this visualization process all day. All day you should be thinking, what's my ideal vision? And hone it and refine it. This is like your own personal project. You're creating your life. You have to create your life first in your imagination before the life can be created in physical reality.